Governor Bev Perdue today revealed the man who will be in charge of our state's cut of the stimulus package. Dempsey Benton will lead the new Office of Recovery and Investment. Benton's chief responsibility consists of making sure $6 billion gets funneled to the appropriate places. Ed Crump joins us now live from the State Capitol building. Ed?
Larry, the governor says she created this job. Some are calling it the state's stimulus czar. She created it because the budget office is overwhelmed with the current budget crisis. And today, Governor Bev Perdue says she picked the right man for the job. Governor Bev Perdue created the first of 100,000 plus jobs the federal stimulus money is expected to bring to North Carolina. It's the job of director of the Office of Economic Recovery and Investment.
I don't have time or the skill set, and so I really think I have one of the skills I have is to find the very best person and to allow them to do the job that I hire them to do.
That person, former longtime Raleigh City Manager Dempsey Benton. Benton most recently served in the controversial position of Secretary of the troubled State Department of Health and Human Services. So why, after looking forward to leaving state government, did Benton take the job?
I was intrigued by the unique approach that is being taken and its potential benefit to the North Carolina.
The governor implied some arm twisting may have been involved in getting Benton back into a state government job. He indicated the $98,000 a year post would last 2 years. As Raleigh City Manager, Benton was known for stretching a dollar. This time he'll have more than $6 billion to work with.
I hope to be able to contribute to the prudent and effective use of these resources.
The governor says she wants to get a jump on other states and hopes to have a comprehensive list of so-called shovel-ready projects available to Benton by the end of the week.
Most of the money is flowed to the state, which means that we can be very direct and very bold with where we choose to invest the money.
Now, when Benton gets that list of shovel-ready projects at the end of the week, it will be released to the public, too. Larry, it's not exactly clear how this will work, but it appears that Benton will get to pick from that list. I'm certain that he'll have plenty of input.
Twice he's thought he was retired. That man just keeps getting bigger and bigger jobs, it seems, Ed.
Some say a glutton for punishment, Larry.
All right, Ed, thanks for that.
Now to break down how it will all work. Hi, Laura.
Hey, Donald. Well, Dempsey Benton will lead the newly created Office of Economic Recovery and Investment. You might remember he most recently served as Secretary of Health and Human Services. Perdue says she chose him because of his managerial skills, because there is a tremendous job ahead of him.
So ready to get out of I think, his high-pressure job, and this is tremendous pressure.
But Dempsey Benton
Look at the legislation with a North Carolina perspective.
Says he's ready to move stimulus money into the economy, track it, and hold people accountable for how it's used.
This legislation has some pretty rigorous reporting and accountability components.
Benton says the job will be a 2-year undertaking.
Creating jobs, making investments that serve the public purpose both now and in the future.
So I'll know by Friday.
Perdue says education and Medicaid will receive a large chunk of the $6 billion.
Most of the money is flowed to the state, which means that we can be very direct and very bold with where we choose to invest the money.
There's no detailed breakdown yet, but one sure allocation is more than $800 million to the Department of Transportation.
We have started to prioritize projects all across the state, and we're looking to create a list that we'll have available soon, meaning in the next week, I think.
There are 11 projects planned for March using stimulus money, none in the Triangle. But Transportation Secretary Gene Conti says the widening of I-40 is a high priority. The big question remaining is exactly when North Carolina will see the money.
I'm just really hopeful that it's going to come pretty quickly. It's got to come quickly.
And Benton said he is going to create a website so the public can see where the stimulus money is going. And Donald, he said that's just one way he plans on keeping the public in the loop.
So Governor Perdue there saying she hopes it comes quickly. Also, a lot of people hoping how much exactly will be there to help with the spending deficit problem and possibly programs and jobs here in the state?
Yeah, well, Governor Perdue wanted to make one thing clear. She said she's grateful for this money, but made it very clear this is not going to solve our state's problems. We're facing a $2 billion shortfall right now. She said we're getting $150 million less than anticipated in this federal stimulus dollar package. So she said that it is very likely there could be some tough cuts ahead.
definitely coping to watch out for. Okay, thank you.
A familiar face will be in charge of handing out North Carolina's federal stimulus money. Governor Bev Perdue has hired former Health and Human Services Secretary Dempsey Benton to lead the newly formed Office of Economic Recovery and Investment. News 14 Carolina's Loretta Beniti has details.
We've got our marching orders as you've described them.
Dempsey Benton has a big weight on his shoulders. In fact, about a $6 billion one. Governor Beverly Perdue has named Benton as the head of the newly created Office of Economic Recovery and Investment. This office will be in charge of tracking all federal stimulus dollars flowing to state and local governments, making sure that North Carolina is maximizing its use of stimulus dollars, identifying ways to make sure this money is used as quickly as possible, and establishing a communication system with all agencies using the cash.
It's a rather significant package, and the first order of business is scoping out its full range of opportunities for North Carolina.
Benton most recently was in the headlines when he served as the Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services. Under his tenure, the department came under harsh criticism for its patient care at state mental hospitals. But Governor Perdue says he is the right man for this job.
He brings the best overall skill set because he's been a manager, so he understands meeting the demands of the bureaucracy and of getting projects out very quickly.
Benton says he might have his critics having served in the public eye for so long, but he believes this is a challenge he is up for.
This job is a unique opportunity. It didn't exist before today, and certainly I'm going to try to apply my skills to do the best job we can for North Carolina.
Loretta Beniti, News 14 Carolina.
Benton's position is considered a temporary one. Perdue says that she expects him to work on distributing the stimulus dollars for about the next 18 months.
In other news today, while President Barack Obama was signing the economic stimulus package, Governor Bev Perdue was appointing the man who will oversee how that money is spent in our state. The governor chose former Health and Human Services Secretary Dempsey Benton to oversee the new State Office of Economic Recovery and Investment. Secretary Benton's office will coordinate and track North Carolina's handling of $6.1 billion in stimulus funds, which are intended to create jobs and improve infrastructure, among other things.
I think that he brings the best overall skill set because he's been a manager, so he understands meeting the demands of the bureaucracy and of getting projects out very quickly. He understands the problems, if you will, the challenges of working for the state of North Carolina. So he gets both sides of it, and I do believe his skill set is the best that I could find. And
Governor Perdue says she's grateful the stimulus package is on the way, but it's not providing everything she'd hoped for. The governor says she would have liked to have seen more Medicaid funding and more infrastructure investment, but she's pleased with the package overall.